Good morning, everyone. We'll be starting shortly, just letting everyone filter in. Good morning, everyone. We're about to get started. Welcome to this year's TSPE Engineers Banquet. I'm Adeliza Ramirez, TSPE Travis Chapter President, and I'm joined by our banquet committee of Sean Beal, Hope Newton, and Kristen Van Hoosier. While most of us can agree that meeting in person would have been the preferred route to go, the months involved in planning an event of this magnitude resulted in us having to choose whether to go virtual or reserve a physical venue. Due to changing conditions and regulations within our country and city, we had to make a difficult decision at the start of this year to go virtual. We were nervous to try something new and were worried whether we would be able to receive enough sponsorships and donations. But thanks to our sponsors for this year, we will be able to continue supporting our causes and initiatives in our community. So what does the TSPE Travis chapter do? That's a great question. Like many of NSPE's state societies, TSPE's local chapters sponsor the Math Counts competition series, a national middle school mathematics competition that builds problem-solving skills and fosters achievement through 4 levels of fun, in-person, B-style contests. Our chapter works with the students within our community, and this year, students from our region represented the first, second, and third place winners at the state level competition. It is always an honor to help represent and celebrate these students at these events. Another primary focus of TSPE's mission is to promote and enhance the profession and license practice of engineering. This is done by following legislation that affects our licensure. We also celebrate Professional Engineers Day in August, where we raise awareness about what it means to be a PE, recognize licensed PEs, and show appreciation for the work they do each and every day. In addition to math counts, one of our other focuses is the annual Christmas party for students who attend Ortega Elementary School. Every year, our December chapter meeting is held to celebrate these students. We reserve a hotel room with catering and invite STEM students from each grade level to enjoy a fancy lunch with engineers from our membership. The students are paired with an engineer who brings them gifts of their choice. This year, we also donated various food and care items for the students. The school has their own food bank where parents are able to come in and pick up items for their family. Lastly, one of our largest efforts is to provide scholarships for high school students pursuing higher education in the engineering field. You will get to meet our two recipients. Yes, two recipients for this year's Paul and Mary Keller scholarships. Here is our agenda for today. Per tradition, our highlight of today's event is a presentation of our 2021 TSPE and ASCE Engineers of the Year. Engineer of the Year is an honor given to engineers who have dedicated time and effort, not only to their profession, but also, and more importantly, to their communities. Our second highlight of today's event is a panel discussion on something that will change all our lives here in the greater Austin region, Project Connect. We'll get to hear from Mayor Steve Adler, Travis County Judge Andy Brown, and CAT Metro CEO Randy Clarke. You may recognize our moderator from last year, Samuel King. While he's moved on from Austin to San Antonio to join KSAT as their traffic anchor, he was gracious enough to join us for this event, and we are excited to have him. We are also thankful to the following businesses: Black Swan Yoga, Book People, and Bent Oak Winery for providing us with our raffle items. Throughout the presentation, we'll be awarding these items. But before we get to any of the awards, here is our first raffle prize, sponsored by Black Swan Yoga. Sean Beal is our banquet director, and he will be announcing the winners. Take it away, Sean.
Thank you, Adeliza. That's right, folks. Make sure to stick around for your chance to win one of our raffle prizes. First up to bat is Black Swan Yoga. Black Swan Yoga is a donation-based 90-degree heated yoga studio available to everyone with locations in Austin, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, and Denver, Colorado. With their monthly membership, you get unlimited yoga classes. Black Swan Yoga has generously donated 3 one-month memberships. Those lucky winners are, drumroll please, Eddie McCoy of American Structure Point, Claudia Corsetti of the Texas Water Development Board, and Tyler Dube of Pape Dawson. We will be emailing you after this event to share details on how you can claim your prize. Back to you, Adeliza.
Thanks, Sean. On to our award presentations. As a disclaimer, all of our winners were previously notified and were able to record a short thank you speech ahead of time. Our first award is the ASCE Garibald A. Haritunian Engineer of the Year, and it goes to Casey Paul, PE, CFM, and she works at the City of Marble Falls. Casey Paul began her civil engineering career in 2006 after graduating from New Mexico State University. Her primary focus has been on water resource and environmental projects, and she has worked throughout the state of Texas, as well as in Arizona, New Mexico, and California. Currently, she is a city engineer for the City of Marble Falls, where she manages the CIP plan and projects, helps with city planning, executes grant applications and procurement, reviews development plans, helps with emergency response, and works on in-house designs for water, wastewater, stormwater, and transportation projects. In addition to work, Ms. Paul has been a contributing member to professional organizations in the Austin area for years. She has extensive history volunteering with different engineering organizations, and most notably is a past president for the ASCE Austin branch, and is currently serving as the strategic planning chair for ASCE Texas section. She has also held offices with EWRI, Austin Branch, Engineers Without Borders, University of New Mexico chapter, Atomic Sisters, and New Mexico State University rugby teams. Additionally, Ms. Paul was a Peace Corps volunteer and served in Albania, where she worked with the community on urban planning, environmental regulations, and educated students about the environment. She was a recipient of the 2017 TSPE Travis Chapter Young Engineer of the Year and the 2019 Texas ASCE Professional Services Award. Casey and her husband, Travis, have lived in the Austin area since 2012. They have 2 small children and 4 fur babies. They enjoy traveling, catching up on sleep whenever possible, and exploring the hill country and several of the local and unique watering holes the area has to offer. Here are a few words from Casey.
Hey everyone, for those of y'all that don't know me, my name is Casey Paul. I am the proud recipient of this year's 2021 ASCE Austin Branch Civil Engineer of the Year Award. Thank you all so much for selecting me for this honor. I'm also truly touched to be the first recipient since the award has been renamed to the Garabed A. Haratunian Award. He was a very special engineer who contributed quite a bit to our community and profession. I wanted to give this speech in person, but in lieu of that, I also wanted to thank each and every one of you. My colleagues throughout my career have helped me strive to be a better engineer and to help advance our practice. I want to thank each of you for your contributions to our field, for pushing me to be better, and for continuing to help our community grow both locally and on the global scale. Thank you all. I look forward to seeing you all in person, and until then, stay well.
Our TSPE Young Engineer of the Year is Augustine Varengia, PE, and he works at Stantec. Augustine Varengia is a professional engineer with over 10 years of experience in civil engineering design, project management, and construction administration duties gained through assignments in mixed-use, residential, municipal, industrial, and commercial projects. In his current role as a project manager at Stantec, Augustine manages a team of engineers and designers to plan and construct large-scale mixed-use real estate developments, such as the ACC Highland campus and the Domain. Some professional highlights during his career include managing the design of the country's largest ever P3 student housing project in College Station, Texas, and the memorialization of the Space Shuttle Independence at NASA's Space Center in Houston, Texas. Throughout his career, Augustine has been involved in numerous professional organizations, beginning at the University of Texas in San Antonio, where he served as vice president of his ASCE student chapter. After graduation, he served on the education committee for the ASCE Houston branch. Augustine became involved at the ASCE Texas section level through the Government Affairs Committee and has been directly involved in committee assignments such as assisting in the preparation of the Texas Infrastructure Report Card and planning outreach events like the Texas Legislative Drive-In. Most recently, he worked with the ASCE Austin branch and created the branch level Government Affairs Committee and served as the ASCE Austin branch sponsorship committee chair. Currently, he is serving as the ASCE Texas Section Government Affairs Committee Chair. In his spare time, you can find Augustine spending time with his family, enjoying the outdoors by going hiking or swimming, playing music, cooking up a nice meal, and reading a good book. Now let's hear from Augustine with an introduction from Casey.
Hey everyone, Casey Paul here. I am thrilled to be introducing the TSPE Travis Chapter Young Engineer of the Year, Augustine Varengia. I have had the joy of knowing him for several years, and from the moment I met him, his energy and passion for our field shone through. I think he is an excellent choice for recipient of this award, and I could not be happier for him.
Hello everyone, my name is Augustine Varengia, and it is my honor to accept this award today for the 2021 Young Engineer of the Year, presented by the Texas Society of Professional Engineers. Being that I hold engineers in the engineering profession in such a high regard, it is a huge compliment to receive this acknowledgement. I would like to take a brief moment to thank some of those who helped me and supported me get to this point, starting with the NSPE organization, for their overall representation of our engineering profession and for being present in hallways of universities across the country, teaching young engineers the importance and the impacts of being involved in professional organizations. I would like to thank my employers for the numerous opportunities and for the projects that I've had the pleasure to work on throughout my career, as well as my team members who I've worked besides to bring those projects to life. I would like to give a special shout out to the American Society of Civil Engineers Texas section, including Executive Director Lindsay O'Leary and past and present Government Affairs Committee members. Finally, I'd like to thank my wife, Katie, for her support day in and day out as I've dedicated my time outside of work to organizations, committees, and other causes. The future is bright for engineering, and I look forward to building that future with you. Thank you, and God bless.
The TSPE Engineer of the Year is Frank Carmichael III, PE, and he works at HBJ Associates. Frank Carmichael has led an impressive career of 46 years in the engineering industry. As the Austin branch manager for HBJ Associates since 2000, Frank has become a legacy for professional, technical, and operational expertise in his field. He is no stranger to recognitions for his professional contributions, which include Fellow of the American Society of Civil Engineers, Distinguished Alumni of the Civil, Architectural, and Environmental Engineering Department at the University of Texas at Austin, and graduate of the Leadership Austin program. With beginnings in Brady, Texas, Frank graduated in the top 10 of his class, where he developed a strong foundation for success with his participation in the National Honor Society, golf team, band, and Boy Scout Troop 402 as an Eagle Scout. Frank's interest in building things and understanding how things worked facilitated a strong desire to improve the quality of life for his community, which led him to the field of engineering. With his earliest engineering work in 1969 at the Center for Highway Research at the University of Texas at Austin, where he earned his Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering with honors in 1973, and his Master of Science in Civil Engineering in 1974, Frank also worked at the Brady residency of the Brownwood District of the Texas Highway Department. This gave him a strong foundation in the theoretical and practical aspects of highway engineering. He completed his thesis on modification and implementation of the rigid pavement design system. He was a member of the student chapter of the ASCE and organized a student trip to witness the initial construction of the new Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. He also served as president of Chi Epsilon Honorary Civil Engineering Fraternity. Upon graduation, he went to work at Austin Research Engineers Incorporated, where he rose to the rank of president of the firm, having worked on several notable research projects. These included the Federal Highway Administration, National Cooperative Research Program, and the World Bank. He completed and co-authored numerous research projects, including work on the 1993 AASHTO Pavement Design Guide, NCHRP Report 300 Bridge Management Systems, and NCHRP Report 285 Evaluating Deferred Maintenance Strategies. He also implemented pavement management systems and studies for state and local governments nationwide. He worked internationally on projects in the Netherlands, Bolivia, Argentina, Nigeria, and Malaysia. Frank has spent his career focused on transportation engineering, having completed pavement design projects for street, road, highway, toll road, airport, and port projects. He also completed project designs for mass transit authorities in the area of alternative fuels for compressed natural gas refueling stations. He has continued to develop pavement evaluation and design systems with several award-winning projects. He has been an active member of ASCE, TSPE, and the American Public Works Association. He has also been active with the Capital Area Boy Scouts of America as a Boy Scout leader and Scoutmaster of Troop 5, and a volunteer at 3 national jamborees. He is a 30-year member and Paul Harris Fellow of the Rotary Club of Austin and is a graduate of the Leadership Austin program. Frank has been married 45 years to Vicki King Carmichael of Houston, Texas, who got a BS in Department of Natural Sciences, University of Texas at Austin, 1977. And he is father to James Brady Carmichael, BS, Joe Jackson School of Geophysics, the University of Texas at Austin, 2000. Here to share with us his wisdom is Frank.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be with you this morning. I was very surprised to learn that I had won this award. I'm very humble and honored to receive it, since I consider recognition by your peers to be the highest honor. I first would like to thank Therese Bayer and Ali Katal for nominating me, and for the Travis chapter of TSPE for selecting me. I also want to thank a number of engineers who have mentored and worked with me throughout the years. Dr. W.R. Hudson, Dr. B. Frank McCullough, Harvey J. Trabig, Herbert V. Johnson, and Linda L. Barlow. There are many colleagues and team members who have worked with me throughout the years, and without their help, this award would not be possible. I'd also like to thank my wife, Vicki Kane Carmichael, of 45 years, and my son, James Brady Carmichael, for allowing me the opportunity to participate in the organization and in my professional activities. Thank you once again.
Each year, our sponsors help to support scholarships for high school seniors pursuing degrees in engineering. I am excited to introduce you to Kayla Frank and Zachary Eilers, our scholarship recipients for 2021. Kayla Frank is graduating as valedictorian from McNeil High School. While at McNeil, she has excelled both academically and athletically, obtaining a perfect SAT score in both math and science, and playing soccer all 4 years of high school, making vice captain of the team her junior year and captain her senior year. After graduation, she will attend the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, majoring in biomedical engineering through Honors Carolina. In the future, she sees herself attending graduate school and ultimately working in the field of prosthetic limbs, making advancements that can help amputees lead more independent and comfortable lives. Zachary Eilers is graduating in the top 3% of his class from James Bowie High School and will continue his education at Texas A&M University, majoring in computer science. While at Bowie, he started the Bowie Coder Club to unite aspiring future software engineers, and also supported his community by spearheading projects that contributed to the Central Texas Food Bank and mobile loaves and fishes. Zachary is also a decorated swimmer on the Bowie swim team, having swum all 4 years of high school and elected co-captain his junior year. Zachary is best known for his mobile apps that he wrote and published on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. His apps are free and serve typical students like himself by tracking homework, creating chats where students help students, and for swimmers to find their next time standard goal. Congratulations, Kayla and Zachary. We wish you the best as you embark on this next chapter in life. And here to present our second raffle prize is Sean. Take it away.
Thank you, Kristen. And congratulations to our Engineers of the Year, as well as to our scholarship recipients. Now for our second raffle prize of the event, provided by Book People. Book People has been the leading independent bookstore in Texas since 1970, and for over 20 years, it has been voted the best bookstore in Austin. Pictured here is a specially prepared book bundle from Book People, which will be our second raffle prize. And the lucky winner of this book bundle is, silence please, Carrie Yeager of Cobb Finley. Carrie Yeager, we will be emailing you after this event to share with you the details on how to claim your prize. It looks like we have a couple of minutes before 12, and I'd like to give our panel members an opportunity to get situated. Please use these next few minutes to enjoy your lunch while we wait for our panel discussion to get started. While we are waiting, we'd like to extend another thank you to our sponsors for today's banquet. I look forward to seeing you again at 12:05 to begin our panel discussion. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. We're just waiting for our panelists to get together. Just give us a few more minutes. Thank you.
Hello? Morning, Andy.
Good morning. How are you, Mayor?
I'm doing well.
Excellent.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate your patience as we dealt with some technical difficulties. Now on to our second highlight of the day, our panel discussion on the Project Connect program. Project Connect was approved by voters this past November and represents a monumental step forward for transit in our region. There were countless hours of preparation and effort from our panel members to get to a successful vote for the program. And following that effort, they have continued their hard work to bring the Project Connect program to fruition. I, for one, am really excited about the future of transit for our region and can't wait to hear from our panel members. To kick off our discussion, I'd like to introduce our panel moderator, Samuel King. Samuel is a traffic anchor and transportation reporter for KSAT 12 News in San Antonio. Formerly, he served as transportation reporter for KUT News in Austin, where he provided comprehensive coverage of the lead up to last fall's Prop A and other issues related to Project Connect. He also covered other transportation challenges like the I-35 expansion and efforts to make roads safer for cyclists and pedestrians. He has also worked in several other media markets, including Tyler, Minneapolis, and New York. He is a graduate of Northwestern University and majored in journalism and political science. We are excited to have you here with us, Samuel. Would you like to introduce our panelists?
Samuel, I need to unmute.
I am muted. Sorry about that. So I was trying to be a good, a good person there. But let me start over what I was saying. Thank you very much, John, and everyone here at Society. I appreciate being here. Down I-35, what happens in Austin is still important to the entire region, and especially getting around Austin as it continues to grow and our regions together. Currently, we have Mayor Steve Adler, the mayor of the city of Austin. So I'll start with him. We're also hoping to be joined by Cap Metro President CEO Randy Clarke here in just a moment, as well as Travis County Judge Andy Brown. Mayor Adler is Austin's 52nd mayor, won the election in 2018 at 40 points in a field of 8 candidates. His priorities include mobility, affordability, and equity for all Austinites. Adler is a trustee of the United States Conference of Mayors, past chair of the Capital Area Metropolitan Planning Organization, or CAMPO, Policy Board, and vice chair of the National Council of Democratic Mayors. While he's been in office, the city of Austin passed the largest mobility and affordable housing bonds in its history. The city raised its minimum city wage $15 an hour, passed citywide sick leave and second chance hiring protections. The city has also become a world leader on climate action. Foreign policy named the mayor a global rethinker, and Living Cities included Mayor Adler on its list of 25 disruptive leaders, along with Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg and author Ta-Nehisi Coates, to mark the organization's 25th anniversary. Austin Monthly named Mayor Adler best politician for, quote, fiercely speaking up for Austinites and proving that a little snark goes a long way to support the morale of a community. Thank you, Mayor Adler. Guess we will go to, still waiting for Randy Clarke, so I will skip over that if that's okay, and I'll introduce him when he joins. And we'll go to Judge Brown, serving as the Travis County Judge since taking office. Judge Brown has significantly increased resources to historically underserved communities, including starting a mass COVID-19 vaccination effort, prioritizing communities of color east of I-35, and during Winter Storm Uri, directing food and water utility support to the hardest hit areas in Travis County. Before taking office, Judge Brown helped create the Sobering Center in Austin, which serves as an alternative to jail for intoxicated people. Started a successful law firm and served in local boards and commissions. Judge Brown grew up in Austin. Sometimes that's a rarity. As a lawyer and served as a legislative aide to former Speaker of the House Pete Laney, campaign manager for Congressman Doggett, and finance director and senior advisor to Senate and presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke. He also served as Travis County Democratic Party chair. Judge Brown lives in Austin with his wife, 2 kids, 1 dog, 2 cats, and 4 chickens. No word if that also includes a partridge in the pear tree. Welcome to you, Judge Brown.
Thanks.
So we will go ahead and go into the questions. We had some questions individually for people. So we'll start with the mayor's question here, and then we'll go to Judge Brown, and then hopefully Judge Randy Clarke can join us momentarily. So we'll start with you, Mayor. And I suppose the first question here, when it comes to Project Connect and Capital Metro and the city, and now we have the Austin Transportation Partnership, something that's innovative to lead the project of this nature. How did that come to be, Mayor, and how is that sort of impacting what we're going to see when it comes to expanded transit in Austin and Central Texas moving forward?
Well, first, let me thank you for inviting me and my colleagues to be with you. The work you do in the community is critical. And in fact, this organization, one of the reasons why we're moving forward with this transportation program, decades in the making. I mean, I can remember at the turn of this century, the loss at the polls at the ballot box to be able to move forward. And there were aborted attempts prior to that to actually bring mass public transit to the community. Failed attempts along the way. Difficulty building the political and the financial alliances, community alliances to be able to move something like this forward. And it's really exciting that it's happened. I'll tell you, so many people worked so hard. The public was engaged this time more than ever before. We tried to learn from the defeat in 2014. We watched other cities try to do the same thing and not be successful, like Nashville, and tried to go to school on them too, all pointing to this crescendo. We had the political leadership and the business community and the stakeholders all aligned, heading toward an election last November, and then the pandemic hit. And it was a real gut check for everybody. Could we, in fact, go to the voters in the middle of a pandemic, asking them to tax themselves in order to be able to make this happen? And I think the fact that it did happen and that it passed so overwhelmingly with 58% of the vote is just a real indication of just how much people wanted to have this move forward. It passed. The local finance involvement has been set. You're right. We've created a governance body that is independent of the funding organizations, Cap Metro and the city. One of the members of the 5-member boards from the city, and I'm honored to have that one. One comes from Capital Metro. 3 dealing more with substance expertise, finance, construction, and equity and community engagement. And I think that is one of the reasons why it is out of the box so quickly. I was looking yesterday at the placement of the stations right now for community conversation on the Blue Line. It's great to see that level of reality actually coming in. It's exciting to think of the prospect of another iconic bridge, pedestrian transit bridge crossing the river that'll be put into place. It's exciting to think about a tunnel under the river for the other line so that it's underground throughout downtown. It's just exciting to see it. So many people working at so many different levels. Our election passed at the same time that the election failed in Portland and failed in Atlanta. And I think that's a testament to having the right plan, meeting just an incredible need.
And Mayor, staying on that theme, you know, we've talked a lot about 35 and not just the highway, but in terms of the dividing line it has served in Austin historically. And I know another goal of yours has been to provide equity and access to citizens that are east of I-35. How will sort of this transit plan help in that goal?
You know, I'm not sure there's ever been a transit plan developed in this country where equity was at the center of all of the planning in so many different ways. As part of the project cost that got built into the program, $300 million just to deal with displacement and affordable housing in and around the stations. Nobody has made that kind of relative investment, recognizing not only the benefit that these projects can do, but the harm that they can cause if you're not deliberate and aggressive about making sure that the people that you're trying to most serve are the people that are actually still there when the project gets built. But this project was designed in a way that over half and well over half of the affordable housing that's built in the city and to be built in the city is going to be within a walk shed of one of the stations in this city. So it was designed around bringing access and accessibility to communities that have really been denied equity in our city for so long, not by accident. The fact that the three kind of at-large positions on the ATP board, one dealing with finance, one dealing with construction, the third one is focused on community engagement and equity. That spot filled by the president of Houston Tillotson. Dr. Pierce Burnett, I think, is another indication. The Community Advisory Council, the CAC, which has been formed up and is going to be instrumental not only in equity issues generally associated with this project, but at the table and specifically working on how we allocate and what we do with that $300 million is another sign. This whole project is really centered on equity.
Thank you very much, Mayor. And let's go to Judge Brown. I know Capital Metro President CEO Randy Clarke has joined us. Get to you in just a moment, Randy. Welcome to the discussion. But Judge Brown, just talking about Travis County, in your standpoint, how do you see this discussion when it comes to transportation and what the Project Connect plan and moving forward, what that will mean for residents that you serve?
Yeah, thanks. So I was a supporter of Project Connect, obviously just became county judge in November. And I know my colleague, Jeff Trevelyan, serves on the Capital Metro board, and it was instrumental in getting it passed. But, you know, in general, I think it brings a ton of benefits to our community. In addition to helping us combat climate change by providing cleaner transportation options, it's going to save lives, address congestion, help us tackle affordability. As you mentioned earlier, I grew up here in Austin. My mom actually worked for Capital Metro, I think in the 80s, doing policy for them. And so it's almost in my blood to support transit. I've been a rider. I was just calculating. I think I've been riding the bus and now the Red Line off and on for something like 40 years, which makes me realize how old I have become, but also that I've seen the changes of Capital Metro over the years, how it's improved, and could not be more excited about this next step. It's a safer option than driving. It helps us move towards our Vision Zero goals in the community. If I have the numbers right, I think we're going to have more than 200,000 boardings a day once it's complete. That will remove lots of cars from the roads every day. It's going to enable a lot of people here in the city and in Travis County to reduce their car ownership, maybe not have a car at all when currently they do. So I'm really excited about the potential and everything the mayor shared. Also agree with those goals, and I'm looking forward to it happening.
Thank you very much, Judge Brown. I want to introduce Randy Clarke. He is the president and CEO of Capital Metro, so the transit for Austin and its nearby communities. In the sake of time, I will not read all of this, but we'll say that he also leads the Austin Transit Partnership as an executive director, overseeing design and implementation of the $7.1 billion transit network expansion program. Under Randy's leadership at Capital Metro, transit ridership has reached all-time highs following the 2018 redesign of the bus network, along with multi-million-dollar investments to the system and a renewed focus on improving customer service. Away from the office, Randy enjoys traveling, competitive running with his wife, Kimberly, who he met, as fate would have it, while riding a train. One of my favorite stories there, which we had time to go into it more, but we have a lot to discuss. And I guess the question, Randy, for you is, what is the overall time frame of this? And I know a lot of people are expecting to see, when are we going to see dirt turn? What are the priority lists for how this is going to look as best you can?
Great. Thanks, Samuel. First off, I got to apologize for my technical difficulty on this call. Let's hope that we can do this trans expansion better than me doing Teams today. But thanks for having me involved in this panel. Mayor and Judge, great seeing you both. Appreciate all your continual partnership and leadership, not just on this topic, but I think every opportunity we get publicly to thank both of you and how you helped manage the community through COVID should be highly recognized too. It's been one challenge year for the community, and you both have stepped up fantastic. Appreciate it. To the point about timelines, I know that's on everyone's mind, Samuel. One thing I'll try to remind everyone on is to try to think about this as it's what it really is, which is a program, right? It's a program of projects, and we got to make sure everyone doesn't see everything as monolithic, right? The orange line is different than the blue line. The blue line is different than neighborhood circulators. The displacement money is different than the red line stations, etc. So they all have their own unique timelines. They actually have their own unique funding source. Both federal share, like different programs, different parts of teams working on them. There's different design options, et cetera, et cetera. So I think the thing that we got to take a deep breath back is we're running a marathon here across this program, but we also got to be really important to do targeted sprints is the way I kind of working with the team. So I take everyone back and say, please have patience with the orange and blue line. Those they're in our world called mega projects, right? And so we're not thinking about touching a shovel to get into the subway part or the orange and blue line part for probably at least 3 years, maybe potentially even longer than that. With that said, we're working heavily with the community on the NEPA process, the federal funding in DC, lots of design work that we're going to do with the community. There's lots of technical conversations. The mayor said we just covered the first 15% of blue line at ATP board meeting this week. But there's a lot of the, if you will, smaller capital projects, which, by the way, are big projects on their own, that we're doing and we're moving really well on. So we're at 30% design on a lot of the red line activity. Our first neighborhood circulators, the first one actually launches next month out of this program, 2 more this summer. Our goal is to have dirt turned on our red line station and on our Expo rapid line and our Pleasant Valley rapid line in winter. So December, January kind of time frame. We're already procuring buses for those lines that we hope will get to the Cap Metro board in the August, September time frame. We're working on our electrification facilities to actually run those already. So there is an enormous amount of, I would say, parallel or concurrent work that has to happen. Again, so the more we pull back as a community and say this is a program, not a project, I think it's real helpful because there is no one date and things will start and come online in sequences. And that information is available on the projectconnect.com website. And encourage people to really look at that. I know this is the engineering group. I can't overemphasize the amount of support we are going to need from engineering firms. A lot of them are engaged with us already, and the career opportunities for this particular industry as we build this program, both very near term, like now, but also over the next decade. So thanks for the question. Hopefully that gives a good clarity on that.
Well, you sort of anticipated where I was going next, and I know a couple of us have to run. And Mayor, do you have any final thoughts on Project Connect, and specifically our audience here, as Randy Clarke just mentioned, the engineering community in Central Texas and how key they're going to be to getting all this going?
Is that to me, Samuel, or the panel?
Well, to the mayor, in case he had anything
Gotcha.
further to add.
Gotcha, and I appreciate that, and I'm sorry I will need to be running. You know, the engineering community has been really instrumental in this. You know, in the debate that we had as a community as to whether or not we needed this, the engineering community has been an incredible source of actual data and facts. And we won this election last November in the middle of a pandemic because we were focused on the facts. This was a really good plan, and a lot of the engineers participated in that. But the data about the need, who it was reaching, how it was reaching them, how it was going to change lives, the importance of this project, not only on accessibility, but on equity, on climate change mitigation. A lot of that data and the reinforcement of that data in the community came from engineers. I'm hoping it's not the last election we see that's dominated actually with real data. And we need to figure out how to make that happen more often. So you guys instrumental on this, but are going to continue to be that. And I know that watching Randy as he executes this and gets this built quickly and scales up, boy, I tell you, there are going to be a lot of people we're going to need help from in this community to get this work done. It is a big project and a short time frame the community has demanded. I'm going to enjoy watching Randy and the staff of the ATP execute this, and they are out of the box fast. But we know that the scale of this is going to require a lot of the community to be involved, so I'll thank everybody ahead of time for that.
All right, Mayor Steve Adler, Mayor of the City of Austin, thank you for joining this discussion. No, there's a lot going on in Austin, to say the least, so appreciate you being with us. Judge Brown, I know we have time for a couple more questions, so I wanted to toss that question to you in terms of engineering community, and I know the county has a lot of public works and everything, and also transportation projects. So what is your message to this community?
It's a great question. There's so much going on in Travis County and in Austin now in terms of construction and engineering needs that, I don't know when the need has been greater with everything that Tesla's doing, with other potential projects, hopefully coming online with other private employers, with building efforts through I think what the city and the county and others are working on to address services and housing and needs for the homeless population. This is, I think, a great time to be an engineer and construction in general in Austin and Travis County, and I think it's going to be that way, it sounds like, for a while. I'm really excited about Randy making sure this all runs perfectly on time and all happens as quickly as possible. I joke there, obviously, but there's so much good that can come from this. The $300 million that we're going to invest in the equity portion of it, and just the needs are great of the engineering community, and I think the excitement and the way that this is going to improve our community are endless. So I'm really excited about it.
Well, Judge, Andy, I appreciate that pressure on the shoulders that you and the mayor have laid in there for me, but and I do appreciate how much partnership, because I think, Sammy, if you don't mind, I'll just jump in thematically there, because there is so much going on, and I can't overemphasize, this is an exciting time to be in engineering and construction in the city and, quite frankly, the region, because not only are we growing, and there's really great vertical construction going, and I think we're going to see more unique designs and types of structures as we become more of a truly big metropolitan area. Just, a city is more than buildings, right? A city is culture, style, good urban design. We're becoming more of that than just, kind of the core of a city. We're connected in more of a rural highway system. We're coming actually now to be a true metropolitan big area. And it's an exciting time. And I guess I would encourage everyone that is in the engineering space. Some of the people I saw on this call are actually doing work for us now. So thank you to everyone that's working on the program. I can't say that more sincerely. But the opportunities that we're going to have are immense. I know a lot of people look at our Project Connect program and go, oh, that's another big thing, big project. It's like bigger than everything else kind of combined mega project. And I'm trying to get people So when we're in full construction, we'll have 3,000 or 4,000 workers a day, every day on site working. We'll be spending millions of dollars every day for years, just on construction. So it is a mammoth undertaking. It's going to take an enormous amount of resources. And I'll further say, we're looking for civil, but we're also looking for tons of systems engineers, electrical engineers. There's so much of that in our world that's not traditional civil. And I really ask people, if you want to be involved in innovative stuff and help push us, please get involved in this program. So we'll be hiring, we are hiring, and we're looking for good people. I know the firms that are doing work with us are constantly looking for people. And then as we keep more opportunities coming out for contracts as well. So we want to build, and I've been very public about this, when we're done, we are going to have the best, most advanced transit system in North America. That's what we're going to build here in Austin, Texas. And anything less to me is unacceptable. We have the chance to do something no other city. We basically get to start with a blank canvas. So let's do the best of the best. So I just thought I'd jump in with that, Samuel. Sorry.
No. That's fine. And I know people's times are short. So wanted to throw it back for any final thoughts to either of you, Judge Brown or Randy Clarke, about Project Connect, transportation in the region, and your thoughts on that.
I know obviously a lot of this is driven from, property taxes within the city of Austin, but I'm looking forward to being a good partner from the county level, working with Randy and Capital Metro and Commissioner Trevelyan, who serves on the board, to make sure that this is a success, and really look forward to a great partnership and improving our community with what's going on here.
And I guess for my final thoughts, Samuel, I want to reiterate my apologies for my my on-time performance. But I can't wait till we actually only do in-person meetings. So I actually left the meeting to come out, and I'm outside, and there's noise going on. So I apologize for the whole thing. Is, I'll be honest, a little messy on our end, and I apologize for that. So what I would offer up, because this is an incredibly important group, if there is an interest of this group to have us back from the Project Connect team, happy to do that. I can bring our top engineering leads too, which might actually be even more valuable than listening to me, to be quite frankly, Dave Couch and his leadership team. But want you to know that we are here to be engaged with you all as an association, as a chapter, and as an industry. So we welcome those opportunities when you think they're the most valuable. So just wanted to say that.
All right. Well, thank you to both Randy Clarke, President and CEO of Capital Metro, Andy Brown, the Travis County Judge, for joining this discussion today. And thanks, Sean. Go back to you. Thanks for having me all the way down in San Antonio virtually.
Thanks, Daniel.
Absolutely. Thank you again to our panel. That was an excellent discussion, and we are all truly grateful for your time and the leadership that you've shown for our region. As a lifeline Austinite and an engineer, I'm truly inspired by what I just heard, and really looking donated by Bent Oak Winery. This lucky winner will receive a wine tasting for 4 or any purchase up to $60. Located in Cedar Park, this local family-owned business produces wines using hand-picked grapes from Florida, California, and Texas, including their own backyard. And the lucky winner is, wait for it, Austin Messerly of K-Freeze. We will be emailing you after this event to share with you the details on how to claim your prize. Back to you, Kristen.
You may have noticed earlier, as Casey Paul mentioned in her acceptance speech, that the ASCE Civil Engineer of the Year Award was renamed the ASCE Garabed A. Haratunian Civil Engineer of the Year Award. Garabed A. Haratunian was a decorated civil engineer in Austin whose successful career spanned more than 4 decades and brought him to places like Iraq, Scotland, and Colombia. He had a rich passion for engineering and also a giving heart of enormous scale, volunteering for numerous causes and organizations throughout his career. Garabed passed away in March of this year, but his humble heart, dedication to the engineering profession, and service to his community will not be forgotten.
In closing, we would like to thank our sponsors. Without you, much of what we do as an organization would not be possible. To our scholarship winners, thank you for your hard work and for inspiring the generations to come. To our engineers of the year, thank you for your continued dedication to the engineering profession, for your commitment to your communities, and for setting an example for emerging engineers in the industry. We are honored to celebrate you. And to our panel members, thank you for your time and dedication to your professions. I would also like to give a big thanks to our banquet committee of Sean, Kristen, and Hope for doing such an amazing job at pulling off this virtual event. Seriously, I don't know what we would have done without them. We hope to see you next year in person. Have a great rest of your day.